Today we're going to learn how to make the best and easiest Dutch oven bread. So first you'll need a Dutch oven, some parchment paper, some saran wrap, a big bowl, some cooking spray, salt, vinegar, instant yeast, and water and flour. So we're going to start off by putting 6 cups of white flour into our bowl. That was 4. Here's the other 2. Alright, the next step is 1 tablespoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of instant yeast. Next step is the liquid ingredients, which is 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and 2.5 cups of water. Now we'll mix it all together using our hands. Alright, so we have the dough all mixed up, and you can see it's a little doughy, but we want to avoid mixing it too much. So this is like the perfect consistency. The next step is to cover it and leave it sitting overnight. So since we have this handy dandy lid, that's what I'll be using, but you could just use saran wrap if you don't have a lid. It's the next day and we've been letting our bread rise overnight. There's no set time for how long the bread should be rising that first night, but we started the bread around 7 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock now, and so we're going to move on with the next step. So we're going to spray our parchment paper, and now we'll see how our bread has risen and turn it a few times. As you can see, it's gotten quite a bit bigger, so now we're just going to kind of pick it up and form it into a rough ball. It's going to be real sticky on the sides, so just kind of take it off the sides, and after we form it into a ball, we'll just plop it right onto that parchment paper that we sprayed earlier. We've got our dough and I'm kind of forming it into a rough ball here. It's real sticky, but that's alright. And we're going to just plop it down onto our parchment paper. We're now going to take our bread that we formed into a ball and grab the parchment paper by the corners so that we can plop it back into the bowl. Now that it's in the bowl, I'm going to spray it lightly on the top so that it doesn't dry out, and then we're going to place a piece of saran wrap that has also been sprayed by the oil over the bread. We now have our bread here in our bowl on parchment paper and covered with sprayed saran wrap, and we're going to let it rise for another 2 hours. We have 15 minutes until our 2 hours is up, so I'm going to place our Dutch oven into the oven and turn it on to 500 degrees. The 2 hours is now up, so we're going to remove the plastic wrap, and we're going to cut a design to the top of the bread and sprinkle it with flour. This step is not necessary, but it does make the bread look really cool, and you can cut whatever design you'd like. Sprinkling it with flour also enhances the appearance of the bread after it is baked. Once the oven is preheated to 500 degrees, we'll remove the Dutch oven from the oven, place our dough inside the Dutch oven, and place it back in the oven with the lid on. Now that the bread's back in the oven, we're going to reduce the temperature to 425. And the bread will be baking for 30 minutes. Now we're going to take the lid off of the Dutch oven, and we'll have the Dutch oven in there for 20 more minutes at 200 degrees. The 20 minutes is up, so we're going to take our bread out. So after it's out of the oven, just plop it on a cooling rack and slide it off the paper, and here's your finished product. This bread has a slight sourdough taste, and it's really good. We've made it lots of times and I would definitely recommend this recipe.